Hello guys, we're going to start in here in just a minute. Just going to share the link. Alright. Okay, let's get started in this bad boy here. First, let's fix that music. I'm finally going to learn my lesson here with that. Alright. Another 10 matches today. Okay, where is the numbers? Oh. So we got 48 left, and after today we'll have 38 left. So let's start with the A bracket here. Start with Hank the Tank versus Mac here. We'll see how that goes here. This should be interesting. Fight between the two. Both guys can be pretty dominant, as we've seen. Some knee work there from Mac.
Yeah. One. Yeah. Two.
Oh, here comes Eric to help him out.
Yeah.
Oh, I got hit with, oh, double missed. Oh, and the ank's busted open now. Oh wait, here comes LJC to help him out. Dragon Sleeper. Blocked the Yakuza kick. No, bicycle kick. Oh, bloodless DDT. Hi Kareem, how you doing? I haven't been able to yet because I have the wrestlers locked into the league mode of the game, and when you do that, you have to save on the editing stuff till after. So once the league open stuff concludes, I'll be able to make the changes to the gear. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know if you I've been away from it for a bit, so I'm not sure if you did any more than what I've seen. Going, oh, Angel of Death there.
1, 2, 3.
Valiant effort, but just... Jeez. Well, that's one of the better matches we've seen so far in the League Open. Madden 02 should have had updated installments within the equipment. I mean, to be honest, I don't even know if that kind of stuff was even possible back then. I don't think that was even a glimmer in the guys' thoughts when they were making the game. Like that kind of stuff wasn't really thought about till many years later. So I don't know how it would even be a thing back then. Updated installments within the equipment, like it. Like, do you mean like the stuff within the game, like patches, or do you mean like the physical part, like consoles? Alright, B bracket here. Let's do Rust and Mason, let's see how that goes. Hi Star Fox, how you doing? Well, then for that stuff, it's not even a point of whether I should think it, but it's something that wasn't even possible back then. Just weren't a thing at all. There we go.
Fight!
Yeah, they did, but they did have them in real life, but I think something that's easy to miss is that the technology back then wasn't at a point where it could reflect real life 100%. It's not like today. Like, what you've seen in those games was the absolute best they could do at the time. And they could not do any more than what was in those games, if that makes any sense. So if you play those games and all they have are 2 or 3 types of tattoos and that's it, that's the best they could have done at the time. And patches weren't a thing neither, and it didn't become a thing till many years later when game companies decided to it just became, they went too far with it. With all the extra stuff and all that, and it got to a point where it made it tough to like make games within a reasonable time frame. That's why you're seeing all these big games take 7 to 8 years to be made, because they do so much in them, and they do it at such a high scale that you barely see games made and come out. Like one game can make and break a company for like years at this point. Oh, Diamond Dust. Oh.
One, two.
Pumpino suplex. Yeah, yeah, same thing there. It's and that's the thing about those games too back then, is that even despite the model set, there are certain models, certain installments that have certain things above others, like O2, like you have the expansion draft. No other Madden game has the expansion draft. That's like unique to that. Even O3 and O4 didn't have that option really, or any. I mean, and there's stuff in O3 that makes it unique. Oh, Stunner. I mean, that's the thing about those. Wrestling games especially have that, like, times 10. Oh, Suicide Dive. Another Stunner. Oh, he just got criticals! And I think it's going to end in a count out. Yeah, because I think in this game it's kind of there's something in it where if you critical your opponent outside of the ring, you don't go back in. That was dumb, Mason. Well, it'll definitely make it less likely for ties. We'll say that much. Well, Kareem, since then you're in the chat here, we'll have your guy be showcased here. Either Smith, Eli, or Brett, your teammates. So let's go with we'll go with Smith. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, well, the whole thing in Madden itself was in the dark side of things. Like those games were very, like, once you got to the later ones in the PS2 era, they were really dark until they got to, like, until the 05 era. Pile driver. Oh, Echo Slammer out of nowhere, but Smith's too worn up for that. Oh, wow. Kareem makes quick work over Smith. Dominance. Well, different styles and everything. Alright. D bracket's kind of an interesting spot because it has one less person, so we're actually kind of almost done with this bracket, so it's going to be interesting to see. Tom's done. Commander K still has a couple. Jester has one, Educator has one, Davis has two, Dime has one, Shala has three, so we definitely gotta do Shala. Let's do Shala versus Commander K. We'll do that one here. Also, TWN updates. I am working on stuff right now. Couple new promotions coming in. So updating guys and whatever. I'm still tweaking up the new edition of the credit store. Yeah, yeah, I will say this, Cream, your eye for details of those is definitely much more than mine, because I grew up playing those games, and I didn't catch those kind of details, and I don't think I still do catch those, but I know a lot of people do, and I'm not saying, and that's the thing, too, and that stuff, of course, I do think is important, only because it can lead to like touch-ups over time, because if you didn't catch those details then nothing would improve or change, and that's how over time we get more accurate graphics and stuff, although to be fair, that can vary with games. Like with sports games, that's very easy to like keep up with. Although nowadays, I don't know about nowadays, but back then, yeah. But wrestling games, it is almost impossible. Big slam right there from Commander K. There we go. And it's being funky today. Hopefully we can avoid a cutoff, but if it happens, it happens. Internet connection quality is currently not sufficient to broadcast gameplay. Thanks for that notification there, PlayStation. Man, I swear the last few days, I swear, doing these League Open streams, for some reason, like the internet the last week or so has just not been up to par, and I'm lucky the timing of it, because if this was happening during TWN stuff, it would drive me insane. Oh, death from above! Yeah, double the color, yeah. No nonsense pitch there. Back grapple, whips him to the corner. Setting him up. Oh, top rope belly to belly. Truth teller. Well, yeah, that's the thing with Madden 04 was that... Well, Madden 04, I think... Like, the thing with Madden 04 was that it was like a few years later, so they definitely had strides. Oh, DDT going up top. Swanton. But here's the thing, the ironic part is by the time the technology for patches and all that stuff came around, that's when EA started to just not give a shit. So we never really saw the good, positive, full effects that the quality Madden would have had for those patches and installments, but... Oh! Harlem sidekick with the cover. Chalamet with the win. $92, nice. That's gonna get DPS some credits there for his group. Alright, Grayman, I know you were here, so let's see if we can get one of your guys a match here. Still got a few. LJC or Mac. Let's do did we already see LJC earlier? No, we didn't. We just saw him interfere, so we'll do that.
Regulate any stealing of his property. We're damn good too. But you can't be any geek off the street. You gotta be handy with the steel if you know what I mean. Earn your keep.
Fight! Yeah!
Alright, Grayman has to be careful with LJC here. Vice did get an upset win against them in a prior event, but Grayman's going to have to be really careful. LGC, the biggest danger with LGC is the fact that he uses so many submission moves in his moveset. Specifically the Dragon Sleeper and the Lumberyard. Who's the kick? And the STF right there with this thing. Deadlift German. Oh, Tornado DDT. There's that Dragon Sleeper. Man, I just he's going at it early. He's trying to get home early. Murder backdrop. Ankle lock. Another murder backdrop. Bulldog. Oh, LG Grayman almost snuck in a count-out victory. Grayman trying to catch his breath, maintain a little bit of a distance. Counter. Ooh. Oh, going for the Lumberyard. Oh, Grayman attached to it. No, Star Fox was in earlier. Sometimes, yeah. It's those submission moves. He has so many of them. He just found, like... He just found his sweet spot. Star Fox was in earlier. Is Jones in this bracket? I thought he was, but I guess he might be in the C1. Alright, Star Fox was in earlier, so let's see if... Well, let's do, alright, well, who has the least here? The most matches left? 3, 3, 4. Victoria needs... Yeah, Victoria has... So, well... Let's just do Victoria Star Fox here. Save as well. Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting here. I will say though, Gray Man, you are the Triple Crown champion, but we'll have to look at what the standings are after we get through the 10 matches, because I don't know where you're at currently in that bracket for qualification. Rip. Well, we'll have to see. I know we haven't really been doing, oh yeah, because the winner of the whole thing will win the Triple Crown title, and there'll be and other stuff as well. I know lately YWA's kind of been a little bit on the dead area, but a lot of that just has to do with the fact that, like I mentioned previously, starting with Season 6 of TWN, YWA will be like a minor league associate with it, so there is gonna be a much bigger priority shifted on TWN stuff over YWA stuff, and a big reason why with all that is mainly because YWA, the only way it can really stay like churning is if we're constantly getting an influx of new people, and we're really not really. And by new people, not necessarily like created wrestlers, but like participants. And the goal with the TWN association is that at specific points, like for certain guys to be brought up into promotions or something along those lines, like an NXT, and then have newer guys replace the old guys to keep things fresh, because as it stands, there's only so many rivalries and so many stuff we can do with it without facing repetition. So that's kind of the idea behind it. And to be honest, with all the TWN stuff that's going to be done and planned, there's just not enough. There's just a lot more in TWN. So that's kind of the main goal of all that. Yes, and also of the roster. The roster's kind of fixed. Like, there's not going to be people leaving and going. You know, there's not going to be new people coming up and old people retiring or whatever. It's just kind of stalemated. So having it blend in with TWN in degrees will work. Will help a lot in keeping things fresh. I'm doing good, Eli. How you doing? That's good. Almost had it with the splash. But yeah, the next big YWA event will be Clash of the Titans. That's gonna be in the August 16th. The next TWN pay-per-view will be either the day before or after that. That'll be a summer one, SummerSlam style kind of thing. So that'll be in the works. But we got a couple new promotions joining, so we're gonna have 9 going into next season. So that's gonna be fun to that's gonna be fun. It's great because we get to see some wrestlers in action. Washington Red Wolves. Yeah, like, oh yeah, the Commanders were gonna change names again from what I heard. So, to be honest, the Commanders was never, like, it's too generic. It was always too generic of a name. I've heard a lot of people actually just prefer them calling them the Washington Football Team just because it was something different. But, I don't know, I think... No, I doubt it. There'd be too much against that. Here's the thing, like, I don't know why they just don't go with hogs, because the hog has been a mascot for the Washington team for decades. And I think that'd be a great one to pick. I don't know why, like, they didn't think about that. But... yeah, exactly. And you see, that's the problem with a lot of the stuff nowadays, the team's logos and stuff, is that everything looks too CPU created. Like, everything seems to lack that human touch of complexity to make it interesting. Red Rooms would be fine. Really, that'd be a fine name for them. Counter there. Tori has been very scrappy against Star Fox here. Yeah, I know they kind of got hyped on a military term because of how the military ties the area has, of course. So I understand that temptation, but Commanders is just so generic. It's just such a generic name for that. Oh, Cradle Pile Driver goes for a cover. Dodge fire there. Oh! Splash on the back there. Goes for another. Victoria has been pretty competitive against Star Fox here. Oh, big counter. Yeah, we'll just have to see. I don't think there's any Oh, Victoria with an upset. Wow. It's kind of nice seeing some of the lady wrestlers get some wins here against some of the guys. Kind of a nice change of pace there. Won it with her finisher, the Shatter Machine. Let me see bracket. Where is Jones here? There he is. Does he have any? He has one against Workhorse and the Hill. Hill has 3. How much does Workhorse has left? 4. Okay, we'll do that then. Save. Yeah, we'll have to see how things go with that. Yeah, I'm fine without it having the name. I don't want that name back, in all honesty. I think it's I think it just outstayed its welcome, and I think any justification for keeping it has been eroded eons ago. And I not only is it not a good, like kind of an offensive name, but I know some people claim because of the heritage and the prestige of the winning side of the team and all that, but even that's been gone forever. Even if you took out the offensiveness of the name, the team's reputation has been eroded for the last 20 years. So even that justification isn't even something you can use. Oh yeah, he was. And well, the problem is, and I don't know why they kept it for so long. I think it was a couple reasons. One, I think there just wasn't enough of a backlash at the time. And I think another thing too was that it was also because the team was successful on the field and everything, and financially, because they were winning and doing all this stuff. So it kind of kept things from getting where it needed to go to change it. That really didn't start till the 2000s when you know, people started to be more aware and the team was shit and people realized, okay, yeah, this name kind of sucks, we should get rid of it. The old Washington name for the football team. Yeah, we'll have to see, Eli. Big Irish whip here. Yeah, Red Rose would be fine. I mean, I have no issue with that. A lot of music that I use is from other stuff, because the game allows you to download tracks into it to use as like background music and entrance music for wrestlers. So I do that a lot, although granted the default music in this game in itself is very good too. Big punch there from Jones. Here comes Greyman to help out. Ooh, top rope cutter. Oh, big chair shot. Interesting. Well, at least they got experience. Armbar, but the ropes break it up. Jones trying to work, of course, very tough here. His use of submission stuff. There's a lot. This game does give you a lot of options for noise, for sounds for the guys. I typically don't get in, try not to get into too much detail on that. Ooh. Just cause there's already so much in the game to obsess with, so sounds I try not to focus too much on when I do stuff. At least to some rough extent. See, next match. Could do Davis and Gridiron, or I could do Commander K's already had a match, so that's. You know what? We got the people. We'll do it here. Let's do a little Jester Educator action. It'll be both their final matches in the bracket round, so their standings will be final. See how it goes. Yeah, no, it's not coming back, for sure.
Fight! Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Oh, Samoan Spike out of nowhere. Yeah. There we go. It came back. I will say, like I said earlier, the last couple weeks, like, the internet's been really fucky. Thankfully, it's been been during the off time of things, but I've been very cautious of it, for sure. I almost kind of want to experiment with a lower stream setting, because right now the stream setting for the PS4 I have, the default 720. And I've been tempted to lower it a notch and see if maybe that'll help with consistency. But here's the other thing too, is I've been downloading more stuff, and I feel like if I delete some of the stuff in the storage, it might help too, because I think the amount makes a difference sometimes. I don't know. I kind of have to experiment with a little bit. And oh, mine cutter. Or it could just be random fuckery. Like, it could have no reason to it. It's a weird thing. Ooh! Yeah, I just guess like space, because I have heard from other people that sometimes like sometimes if the game gets full of downloads, it can like affect the game performance, and that could affect the stream. Yeah, that's the thing too. But I don't have any moves that are buggy, really, in all honesty. If I did, I already got rid of them eons ago. A lot of mine cutters here. Oh, crossbody outside. Kick to the balls, yeah. Yeah, X Factor. I think the internet... Well, that's the thing, because the problem is, too, is that I do have... In my old place, I had a router that I could plug into the wall on my PS4, and it made things so much better, but my room that I do stuff in doesn't have that outlet, so I haven't been able to use the router, and it's worked pretty well for the most part, but every once in a blue moon I'll just run into like a week of just fuckery with the internet. Well, the thing is, I know the level Wi-Fi necessary to... Oh, Jester taps! Educator with the win. Level of Wi-Fi necessary to stream, and I always get that minimum or more before I stream, no matter what. So when I go into a stream, everything should be set. There shouldn't be anything wrong. Sometimes I gamble if there's a storm outside, but for the most part, I mean, the only other variant could be how many people are connected to the internet at the time, but given my place, that technically shouldn't be an issue, but sometimes I feel like it is, but it's not always something that's controllable. But outside of that, it could also just be just the PS4 just being an asshole, more than anything. Yeah. Because really, the minimum I go with that works is 70 in one area and 7 point something in the other. I forgot the terms. But that's the minimum to be at before streaming. And when I started streaming, it was in the 70s and 7s. And despite a few freezes, there hasn't been any breakupage. Yeah, exactly. And it's range. Like, typically, that kind of stuff will be 70s to the 90s, but there was a time where both were well above 10 and 100s for a long time. But even when it did that, there was still times where the stream did that all the same. So, to be honest, it's hard to say how things work with it. It's just something that I just roll with. I mean, if that stuff happened constantly all the time, then I probably wouldn't be streaming to begin with. I probably just record the shit to save the headache. But because it doesn't do it that often, I still... Okay, Dino. I still, like, make it work nonetheless. But it just depends. It's a weird random thing. Really, the best solution would probably be the router solution. And the ironic part is, I'm not sure, but I think in the other room it is there in the wall. But the only way to access it for my PS4 is I would have to run it from there, out of the room, like do a curve into the room I do stuff in, and do that, which would be a stupid thing to do, but maybe worth the experiment. I don't know. But it hasn't been a consistent issue. There's just time periods where it seems to happen slightly more than others. But if it was doing it like every time I stream 2 to 3 times, then yeah, it definitely would require me switching strategies, but I'm not quite there yet. And I don't think I will be, because the internet here is still really, really good, nonetheless. Next match. Alright, so we've seen Gray Man. Slapshot we haven't, and he still has a few. Does anyone have 4 left? DPS has 3. Green Magic has 4, so that probably should get priority. Could go against Vice. Could go against DPS. Could go against Heretic or Slapshot. Well, since Grayman, since you're in a stream, we'll do Vice here. See how that goes. But yeah, so far, in terms of League Open streams, I think we'll have... Right now, after we're done here, there'll be 38 matches left. But I don't know if there'll be tiebreaker matches necessary, though. If there is, depending on the amount, that could be its own stream. We'll have to see. But I plan on doing the tournament at Clash of the Titans, the YWA pay-per-view event, along with unification matches as well. So that'll kind of be the main thing there. He's here.
Fight!
Oh, takedown there from Vice. Vice off that upset win against LJC the other stream. That does remind me too, I do plan on streaming tomorrow as well. It'll definitely be League Open action. Probably Sunday too, odds are. Unless something changes, of course. To be honest, we'll probably finish the League Open up sometime next week. Early to mid next week, roughly. It is actually. Tomorrow is SummerSlam, but that's not gonna be... I don't think that's starting till like 8 o'clock at night. So I'm probably gonna stream a lot earlier in the day and catch it live, because I don't want to Because the problem with waiting, because you can't really pause the stream or anything like that. Oh, Green Magic, Destinio from the corner. So in order to like watch it, you have to wait till the whole event ends, which will probably be around midnight. And then you gotta wait another hour for them to get through the press conference. Oh, look! Oh my god! Green Magic with an early win. I am excited, actually. Because Jay's challenging Roman Reigns for the championship. I think there's a reasonable chance he could lose. I mean, it'd be tempted to keep it on for WrestleMania 40, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But given how they made it no secret that his schedule was going to be non-existent after SummerSlam, I really can't see them. If he wins and just no-shows everything, not no-shows, but just is absent from everything, it's really gonna, I don't know, they went too far. I'm a broken record with this, but the biggest disservice that this whole story did by far is to the championship itself, because the championship has become, it's not even about like the title anymore, it's about Roman. And he's technically lost. He was pinned. You know, he was pinned. That was the biggest thing. That became the biggest accomplishment. And since Jay took that, what's left outside of the title? Which, I don't know. Like, needed to remain. Yeah. Well, that's the problem too, because it's also at a point where because everyone knows how the booking and the pattern of everything works, everyone knows that Roman's not going to lose at some random no-name pay-per-view against some random guy they booked against him. Like, no one's going to buy that. And everyone knows they're not going to pull the trigger on that, and they never do. So it just kind of creates this sense of like, oh wow, it looks like we're going to have to wait another 6 months before we can actually feel like he could lose again. And I hate that. And that's how you know you went too far with it. And it's so funny. I've never seen a wrestling storyline go this long and go through so many peaks and valleys of being good and being shitty. You know? Even the NWO didn't do that. You can say, but to be honest, the whole Jay thing, really, in all honesty, has been building since day one, when Roman made him, like, quote unquote submit to his rulings during the early days of the story. So there's a lot of like callbacks to when they were beginning with all of this. So I wouldn't mind if Jay beats him, because there is good story there. And to be honest, like, while the Sammy versus Roman thing was fantastic, in the benefit of hindsight, like, when it comes to like big from the root up rivalries, I think Sammy had more of a rivalry with Jay than Roman, because Jay hated Sammy from day one, and then Sammy won him over, and then they were friends, and then they were enemies again. And now so I feel like there was just a lot more back and forth between those two than Sammy and Roman. Roman was always, so I'm fine with him and Jay having more of a thing than him and Roman. Although I do agree that Cody should have beat him at 39. I don't give a shit about like, oh, we need to get him to 1,000-day defenses. Oh, what about WrestleMania 40? You know, that, like, I'm not a fan of those kind of stats, because the stats are technically fixed. They're controlled. So who gives a shit? You gotta go for the moments, because that's what matters, is the moments. And if you constantly sacrifice the moments just to get a statistical right that you manipulate to begin with, who gives a shit? That's kind of the whole problem with all that. Alright, 10th match of the night. This is the main event here. Let's see. We saw Star Fox. Sasha has 3 left. So we already seen Victoria. Rico has 2. Rolando has 3. What does Rolando have left? Against Star Fox, which we've seen. Rust we've seen. We haven't seen Brutus yet. Okay, we'll go with this then. Brutus against Rolando. That should be a good one. But yeah, Jay would be fine. And I know people want Cody and Roman at WrestleMania 40 again, but here's the thing, I don't think Cody needs to beat Roman. I think, to be honest, I think the only way to make that title feel important again would be Cody winning that title. Because of how the history and what it means with Cody and that title. Yeah, they've been back and forth on it because when it first started, it was really good. And then they got stale because they held on to the belts forever, and then Sammy came in and he made it good again. And then they did the whole thing with Cody at WrestleMania 40 and became shit again. And now they're doing the Jey Uso stuff and the Jey Uso stuff, and now it's decent again. They keep going back and forth in the qualities of it because they've just been going on that long. And here's the other thing too, and lots of people are gonna disagree with me with this, but in my opinion, you could still have done all of this with Roman losing to Cody at WrestleMania 40. In all honesty, I mean, yeah, you would take away the story of Jay being the first one to pin Roman in 3 years, but I don't think he needed to be the first guy to beat him in 3 years. I think him just beating him was important enough because he never did when they first started feuding over that from day one. So I don't know. I just kind of feel like, or hell, you could even do a thing where you can make Roman pass out to a submission move from Cody. Let's see. Okay, I'll take a look at it when I get a chance. Double pin, yeah. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, overall though, I do like what the WWE is doing. I just think my real criticism of them right now, more than anything, is I feel like they overestimate how long people are willing to wait to see shit happen. I'm fine with long-term storytelling, but you can wear on people's patience. Unfortunately, we just live in a day and age where things need to happen within a reasonable amount of time. People don't want to see the same person be champion for a gajillion years. They just don't. You know, because it takes away too much. Because what makes the belt important, as much as someone fighting to hold on to it for as long as possible, it's also it actually being fought over. Because here's the thing, the more times the fights happen, the more likely it's going to change hands. But if it never changes hands, then you get overexposure, and that's another thing that worked against it too, was the exposure rate of it. Because keep in mind, back in the day when guys held on to titles for eons, people weren't overexposed to it. Like even though for example, San Martino held on the belt for like 7 years, like a lot of people, like in that 7 years, they probably saw like a year's-ish worth of wrestling because of the live events, and there was no like going to a live event, but there was no like pay-per-views or TV shows really back then, not to a shit ton, not to a shit high level. So people's equivalency for overexposure was very different back then than nowadays. Compared to nowadays, of course, when we have like 8 to 9 hours of fucking wrestling from WWE. Oh, he's setting him up. Oh, big spear! So Roman's time with the belt was just it. And that's the thing too. I will say this. I think the one good thing to come out of Roman holding on to the belts as long as he did is it did make the mid-card belts a lot more important and interesting. but they should have been that to begin with. Oh, the brutalizer! Oh! Oh, the 989!
1, 2, 3.
Wow. Orlando with a massive win. Yeah, and that's the thing. Long title reigns can work if there's a lot of defenses, a lot of strong defenses. Like, and here's the thing: I'm more of a fan of someone being in the championship contenders, someone holding on to the belt, but having it broken up by mini reigns from other guys. Like, because here's the thing: even Triple H and Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, lost the belt a few times during their dominance. I mean, can you imagine if Hogan or Triple H held on to the belt for 3 goddamn years? That'd be insanity. Not just one, but 2 of them for like 3 years? That's crazy. And that's the other thing too is I feel like if you're gonna have a rivalry with a champion and a challenger, you gotta have the challenger win the title or beat the champion at some point. You can't do a thing where the challenger just loses all the time against them due to shenanigans, and then by the time they do win, no one gives a shit because you can't wash the stink of chump off with one droplet of water. Alright, let's look at the rankings here after the 10 matches today. LGC leading the A bracket with 25 points, Slapshot second place with 20, and we got a 3-way tie for third. Still a lot to go, still some to go though. In the B bracket, we got a 3-way tie. Star Fox, Rolando, and Brutus all three have 20. Mason and Rust are tied with 17 for second, and Sasha has a third position there. In the C bracket, Kareem leading with 22, Workhorse second with 17, and then we got a 4-way tie for third between Debo, Smith, Eli, and Jones. And the D bracket, Educator leading with 25, Shalabay second with 20, and then we got a 3-way tie for third between Davis, Commander K, and RSG Tom. But I think we got like 38 matches left. So there'll be opportunities to like increase the ranking. So things can change between now and then, but we'll have to see. Because keep in mind, top 3 go to the playoffs, so you don't have to be the number 1 guy to get in. But yeah, definitely gonna be streaming tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. Gonna do another 10 matches of this. Gonna keep tinkering with TWN stuff as well. But outside of that, that's gonna do it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. In case you guys want to chat with anyone at the Campy Company and you didn't want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. First one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in the About page / About section of our channel. We also have a community tab on our channel as well. You can access that anywhere, anytime. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.